Good afternoon. Welcome to the breastfeeding class today. The subject that we're going to talk about is getting started with breastfeeding. I have many other videos that talk about things such as everything you need to know when you go into labor. I have questions about milk or videos about milk supply and some of those other things. But this is just a basic, I think it's 7 things that you need to know basically to start breastfeeding, and kind of like just giving you a good start with breastfeeding. We're going to start on getting started with breastfeeding, getting it right from the start. And I'm going to be using a pamphlet. It's entitled Learning About Breastfeeding, but this is one that hits a lot of really good topics. Number 1 is to bring a knowledgeable support person to the hospital during labor. This person should offer lots of loving support, massage, attention, etc. to the laboring mother. Not everybody has that. There are a lot of hospitals that have lactation consultants, and they will come in and be in the room with you during labor if you ask. You can also usually look up and see if there's any breastfeeding peers that work with WIC. If you have WIC, you can look up certified lactation counselors like myself. There should be some in your area. You can contact them. So you can find that support. But then the hospital a lot of times has that support right there for you as well. But try to get to know them before you even have the baby. That way, when you have the baby, you're not rushing around trying to find the support person you need. They don't have to be in the labor room. They don't have to be there that moment. There are a lot of doulas that are also breastfeeding specialists. And I know they have like 2 different doulas. They have some that do pre, so that when you're pregnant and then at birth. And then they have ones who are post. So they're there to help you after the baby's born. And they can help you through that first week or 2 with not just breastfeeding, but with other things as well. So you can check into doula support. That's another thing. And I'll put that information below. The second thing is to limit pain medication as much as possible. Babies are better able to breastfeed well when they have not been exposed to pain medication given to their mother during labor. So basically, pain medication is going to do the same thing to your baby as it does for you, in the sense of it will make you drowsy, it makes you really relaxed, and makes you sleepy. It will do the same for your baby. So they recommend limiting your medication. It is up to you to decide if you want to do pain medication. I am not here to tell you to do it or not to do it, nor am I going to tell you, oh, it's better if you don't do it, or it's better if you do it, whatever. It's completely up to you. But just expect that the baby tends to be a little more sleepier when you have those pain medications. And typically, though, all babies, after they're born, they sleep a lot that first 24 hours. But with medication, we do know that it makes them more sleepy. So you have to do more of like making sure they're getting enough feeds. If you have that lactation support there, they're going to be able to help you know what you need to do. And just as a little FYI, pick somebody that you know. And if it's going to be like, sometimes hospitals will have lactation consultants, but they kind of like work different hours, so you never know who you're going to get. Try to meet all of them and get to know all of them so that you're comfortable with all of them, because when it comes time like this, you're going to want to know that lactation person, and that's who you want to listen to. When they're giving you advice and telling you what to do, that's the person you want to listen to. You're going to get 11, 12, 100 times more advice from everybody, because you will hear a zillion different things. Let them sleep, don't let them sleep. Time them, don't time them. Wake them, don't wake them. So try to follow what you've learned from your lactation support, from the classes, and also from the person that is helping you. Number 3 is hold baby skin to skin in your arms right after birth for the first hour or more. This helps calm the baby and mom and improves baby stability. Definitely, we've seen it helps stable breathing and their temperature. It helps mom as well. It's also good for the hormones that produce and release the milk. Most baby-friendly hospitals have the skin-to-skin after the baby is born. So you have to find out if the hospital that you are going to, if it's baby-friendly and if it has that time after birth, they let the baby stay on mom's skin-to-skin. And if they don't have it, then you need to let them know, inform them that you want it. I do have a video that talks about a breastfeeding plan, so check that one out. I think I even have something that you can print out. So check that video. I'll try to remember to put it up for you as well, or at least link it below. But the skin-to-skin, I really can't say that enough, how much that's going to calm the baby and you. When the baby cries and cries and cries, and it's that second and third day, and it's all new. You don't know this baby. You're learning the baby, and the baby, has their own personality. So it can be really overwhelming to you if the baby's crying a lot and you think something is wrong, like you're doing something wrong. So doing that skin to skin is going to really help you and the baby. And I would recommend that you do it throughout the first 2 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever, as much as you can, it's going to help you. Whenever you're noticing the baby's exceptionally cranky, and seems to want to breastfeed a lot and just seems to only be soothed when you hold them, do skin to skin. And there's a lot of things out there now that you can do that can help you hold the baby skin to skin and still have your hands free. Because of course that's hard if you have other toddlers, children you're taking care of. Number 4 is watch baby for signs that they are ready to attempt the first feeding. And we call these signs feeding cues. These cues include baby's hands massage the breast area, baby bringing his hand to his mouth, baby seeks the nipple, baby salivates. These cues are usually seen around 1 hour after birth. So this is something that you can do not only that first hour and that first feed, but throughout your whole breastfeeding time. If you are responding to your baby's early feeding cues, then you're not going to have a baby crying a lot, because what happens is when they're really young and you only feed them when they cry, they start to think that in order to get anything that they need, they have to cry. Try to get those early cues. All right, number 5 is allow baby to latch onto the breast whenever cues are seen. Babies may not nurse long or well at the first several feedings. That's okay. These feedings are about learning, not so much about food. Ask for help with positioning from the nurse or breastfeeding helper. You want to let the baby latch whenever they want, and that's why the skin to skin is good, because they literally will feed themselves without any intervention from you. And the point about they may not nurse long or very well that first day, that first 24 hours, just every time they make little peeps and little movements, you can put them on the breast. Their body actually stores everything at first because it knows it's a practice. The baby's not going to get very much. It kind of knows that already. So the baby, the first 24 hours, the stomach holds any food to help that baby. So you don't have to worry so much about food that first 24 hours. Yes, you're going to feed them. And yes, they're going to nurse and get food. But it's more of a practice than it is for feeding, because they're born full. They've been eating in the womb. So they're going to have food from there. Their stomach is going to have food in there, as well as you're going to get some little bit of milk, and their stomach is the size of a marble. So I do have a picture of that, but it's way below. And I'll show it on that in a link. So, but definitely, you don't have to worry that first 24 hours. Just practice. That's all you really, really need to do. 6, keep the baby with you throughout the hospital stay so you can learn the baby's feeding cues and offer the breast whenever you see those cues. Newborn babies should nurse 10 to 12 times or so every 24 hours. So again, timing, and not saying every wake up every 2 to 3 hours, but time, just counting how many times they feed. And a newborn should feed 10 to 12 times, which is between 1 and 2 hours. And then keeping the baby with you, you're able to see your baby's feeding cues, because your baby might have different feeding cues, might do different things than another person's baby. Your baby might just lick their lips and not really do anything else. Another person's might suck. You got to find out what your baby does to show you they're hungry. And so keeping the baby with you as much as possible helps you to learn them quicker, those feeding cues, and to also feed them quicker, and be able to respond to those cues. And what we mean by that is sometimes you hear people say, send the baby to the nurse's room or to the nursery and sleep, because when you get home, you're not going to get to, but if you do that, you don't get to learn your baby's feeding cues until much later. And having them with you as much as possible allows them to practice, you will practice feeding. And of course, they're going to take the baby, to do their little tests and stuff, but try to keep the baby with you as much as possible. And again, if you're in a baby-friendly hospital, they usually will already have that set up for you. Number 7, it's the last, is ask for help if it is at all uncomfortable, because nursing should never hurt. Sometimes you can get a little sore, but it should never be painful. So if you're feeling pain, definitely ask for help right away. You don't want to wait, because if the baby's not latching correctly, it won't take much for your nipple to get bruised, crack, bleed, and we don't want that to happen. So if you're feeling pain, get help right away. If you cannot find help in the hospital, but you have access to Wi-Fi or something, go on YouTube, look up some videos that you can watch of babies latching, and then you can kind of get an idea of what it should look like, and that will help you a ton. So pretty much that's it for that video. I hope that it helps you guys when you go in and have your babies. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below and hit the like button if you liked the video, and keep watching and hit the subscribe button, and you will be able to watch all the other breastfeeding videos I put out in the future. So I will see you guys again in my next video. You have a great day.